Okay, we got someone in serious problem here. Here's serious trouble. A customs officer pulled him over and said that suspected powder you have on you could very well be LSD. But he knows his chemistry, so he's going to do an empirical formula calculation to prove to that customs officer that indeed it is not. Or who knows, maybe it is. So what we're given here are percentages of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and the rest is oxygen. So remember to assume that you have 100 grams if you are given percentages of it. So in that case, we have 74 grams of our carbon because it says we have 74%. So we have 74 grams. Now we divide that by 12.01 grams per mole, and that will give us 6.6 or 6.1615 moles. All right, I'll take it to 2 sig figs, so we'll go 6.2. Alright, and the reason I'm taking it to 2 sig figs is because my 74 is 2 sig figs. Alright, and that's my carbon. Now I want to take a look at my hydrogen, which is, I have 7.95 grams of that, divided by the molar mass of hydrogen, which is 1.01 grams per mole. And that gives me to 3 sig figs, in this case 7.87 moles of hydrogen. Finally, well, not finally, but we have nitrogen also that is given to us. Alright, technically that's 1 sig fig there. So we'll use 1 sig fig, and that's divided by the molar mass of nitrogen, which is 14.01, and that gives us a number of 0.7 for our nitrogen. And then lastly we have our oxygen, which they said the rest is oxygen. So what you do is you take 100 minus the 74 plus the 7.95 plus the 10 grams, alright, and that will give you 8.05 grams. Alright, again you divide it by the molar mass of oxygen, which is 16 grams per mole. And this gives you the smallest that we have of let's see, I want to make sure I did my sig figs right. So okay, so checking out the sig figs here, this would be 92 and this would be 100 minus 92, alright, which would give us then the 8. So we're not going to count the 0.05. Alright, so we'll just call it 8. So that would give us a half to 1 sig fig. So now that is still indeed our smallest, so we're going to divide everything by a half. That's for our oxygen. So we know we have 1 oxygen. Alright, 0.7 divided by 0.5. 0.7 divided by 0.5 gives us 1.4. Alright, so we 1.4. Our hydrogen would give us, let's see, we have 7.87 divided by 0.5, which gives us 15.74. And then finally our carbon, which we have 6.2 divided by the 0.5, would give us 12.4. Alright, so now what we want to do is look for any that may need to be doubled or tripled. Doesn't look like there will be. The 12.4, that's iffy. I would write it as C12, and then our hydrogen up here, that rounds up to 16, H16. Our nitrogen, 1.4, that's close to 1.5. I would double it. Alright, our sig figs aren't the best in this case, but if we were to carry them out a little bit further, we'd get something that would be like 1.5. So double that, and our oxygen would be 1. So that would be the formula there. If you were to add this up, you get 194 grams per mole. And the molecular formula for LSD that they gave us above there adds up to 227 grams per mole. So even looking at the equation, you can see that it's not a multiple. So even if we divided by it, it gives us almost a 1-to-1 ratio. So you can see that it's not a multiple of it. So this individual would be okay with that substance right there, and indeed would not be cornered into one of those customs rooms and retained for hours or days at a time for suspected LSD.